Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Anna and today I'll be doing the end of the year book tag. I compiled a bunch of questions on my iPad from watching videos like Sarah, like Destiny, like Larry. I watched a bunch of their videos, got a bunch of questions together, wrote them down, and here is my end of the year book tag for 2024. So the first question I have is a book you wish you could read for the first time again, which I put 2 books down for that. 2 very good books down for that. First book is Divine Rivals, which when this book came out, everybody was in love with this and was reading. It was amazing. Like, there's no way to describe how it felt for the first time other than like reading it for the first time. Like, it was just all of the emotions and the reactions were so real and raw that I had, and I wish I could go back and read it again for the first time because it was amazing. I loved it. And then on to A Curse for True Love. This one I just recently read actually, but again, same with this. I think this whole series, pretty much, I would love to read again for the first time. It was just, I love the fantasy in it. Just like the world, the characters, the reactions to everything that was happening, all the plot twists and the turns. Being able to experience that for the first time again, oh my, like, would be a dream. I loved this book so much. Both these books were like 6 stars to me, honestly. Like, if there's a book that I wish I could reread again, it has to be a 6-star for me to want that. And these books were. So, all right, the next question is longest and shortest book you read. I feel like these books are going to be on a lot of people's end of the year book tags because of these books were so hyped, and I feel like everybody read them. Most people read them. So the biggest book I read this year was House of Flame and Shadow, which is, let's see how many pages this is, because I wrote it down, but let's see. 835 pages was this book. That is a lot. That's a lot of pages. That is a huge book. Like, huge book. So, my longest book of the year, then followed by my shortest book of the year. This book had me in tears. Literal tears. I knew it was going to happen. So this book, if you are not aware, is it's a little novella that comes directly after Powerless. And this novella is about the main character's best friend. I cannot say what happens to her because that is a lot of spoilers, so I will not. But this book had me in tears. I was crying during this one when it happened. I was sobbing during this one. Like, getting all of her backstory on everything that was happening beforehand and just watching this. I don't know. I was in tears. I could not hold it in. I wish I had more of this. The next question is going to be the prettiest covers, which I'm going back to this series for, because I just think, look at these covers. Gorgeous. Love these so much. So pretty. And then along with their spines together look so good. I love the colors of this. They're just like pretty pastels, I guess you could call them. Just like nice, pretty colors. I love them. These covers are gorgeous. And then we go into favorite new author of the year, which this author comes up in a couple other questions as well, because this series that I started is just amazing. That's the only thing. It would be Chloe Walsh. I absolutely love her books. I have all 5 books up here so far. I've only read the first 2, but I love them so much. And she's one of my favorite authors that I discovered this year because of just how emotional these books are, how in depth they go, just the characters and how they interact with each other. I love these. I love her as an author. She's so good at writing. So our next question is a book that should be made into a TV show or a movie, which I have two options for this one, because I could not decide. One is going to be Phantasma, because I would love to see how they could show everything that was happening in this, because there was so much that, like, yeah, I could make it in my mind happen, but, like, just how interesting it would be to be able to watch this without spoiling anything, to watch everything that happens. Was just, and I love the romance in this. There's some romance in this. Doesn't look like it, but there is some romance in this, and just, I loved it. And when I finished this, I wanted more of it, and I wanted more of them. So just being able to watch it in a TV show or a movie as well, and just get more of them, yes, please. And then another book that I had was A Curse for True Love. I've already talked about this book before in this video, and just, I absolutely loved this. Being able to watch it again in a TV show or movie form would be amazing. I fell in love with these characters, and again, when I finished this, I wanted more. I was like, I kind of keep going, I want more, but there is no more. So being able to go back again to it, and again in the first question, being able to go back and reread it for the first time, or go back and watch it as a movie, I just wanted more when I finished this. And then this question gets more into the stats on books, where this is going to be the highest and lowest rated on Goodreads. So for the highest books, I put 2 for each. The highest books for ratings on Goodreads was Keeping 13 and The Ballad of Never After. Keeping 13, these were so close in ratings. Keeping 13 had a 4.51 average star rating, where The Ballad of Never After had a 4.5. These were 0.01 off from each other. So they were so close, so I had to include them both in this. So, highest rated books of the year based off Goodreads. And then the lowest rated books of this year from Goodreads were actually both audiobooks to listen to, where the first one was Merry Ever After, which had an average rating of 2.81. Yeah, I didn't like it. And then the other one that I read, or I listened to, was Fall Into You, with an average rating of 3.31. I included this one as well because Merry Ever After was a Christmas novella audiobook. It was like an hour and a half long. So if you don't want to consider that, this is going to be the actual lowest rated book. I guess I listened to an audio form, but book that I read from this year, which I had mixed feelings on this one. I enjoyed it. It was kind of dull. There wasn't much going on. I liked the characters, and I liked getting into the book. I don't know. It was kind of there, I feel like. It wasn't amazing, wasn't bad. I liked it. I don't know if I'd read it again, but I would recommend it. And then on the other side of this, my favorite audiobook of the year was Two Can Play by Allie Hazelwood, which I love her writing. That, for me, I loved. It was about two like gaming programmers that fell in love. They got stuck in a snowstorm. Like, their companies, they were from opposing companies, and they have to work together on a video game that they're making. And so the companies decided to send them on a little retreat together so that everyone can interact, get along, become friends. And so they got stuck with rooms next to each other. And just, I loved it. I love the little like winteriness of it. I love video games, so I also enjoyed that aspect of it. There wasn't much talk about video games in it, but just the fact that I knew that they both loved video games as well, I liked it. This one is a sad one. It's gonna be most disappointing book of the year. I included 2 for this, because one I didn't fully read. So, I know this is gonna get some mixed reviews on. People aren't gonna like me for this, but I had to include Magnolia Parks in this. This was a soft DNF for me. I don't know if it just wasn't the right time for me when I was reading this, because I was reading it while I was on a work trip. I got that far in, almost halfway, and I was like, I was pushing myself through it, and I just wasn't enjoying it. So this is my first ever soft DNF. I will get to it at some point. I want to read it. Everyone loves this series. I just think I need to find a different way to read it. I also think I wanted to be like everyone else and was going through and underlining and tabbing stuff, but I was doing it so much, and I think that kind of drained me. I didn't enjoy the book as much. So I think I need to go in just by itself and just read it. Don't worry about annotating, underlining, highlighting, just read it. And then another disappointing book was Not in Love by Allie Hazelwood. I feel like a lot of people, this book let them down this year. I feel like a lot of people were very excited for it, and this just didn't do what people thought it was going to do. I normally love her books and her writing, but this one just didn't do it for me. I don't know if it was too much the same thing over and over again, because it's the things she writes about. I think this one, I think people were saying this one, I forget about it because it was just, I read it and bye-bye. But this was spicier than her books usually are. So I think for that, a lot of this book was just that. And there wasn't much else happening with the actual characters other than that. So I think that's why I let a lot of people down. But I do have a signed copy of it. The picture. And it's signed. This was... Oh, I got this book actually when I was visiting Cape Cod over the summer. Yeah. I got this book on Nantucket. It was from a little independent bookstore. I didn't enjoy the book, but it's a prized possession of mine. So, and the next question is favorite book couples from the year. So, again, back to this book. Do we see where this is going? I enjoyed this book a lot. I loved this couple. Without spoiling who it is, I loved this couple. That's all. I think I've talked about this book enough. I love them. Love the book, love the couple. I want to read it again. Yeah, that's this. And then another one is, yes, Lost and Lassoed. I love this book because of, it's a single dad and the best friend from the first book is in here. I love getting to see the best friend along with the grumpy single dad. It's a great trope. I very much enjoyed this one. I love them together. I think everyone should read this book in this series. The next question is the saddest books you read this year, which I said we're going to bring this series, these books back in again later on in the video, and here we are. Saddest books of the year. Because I was crying a lot during this. These are very sad, emotional books. There are some happy times, but there's a lot of sad times in these books. But I still love them, and you should too. Oh, we're going to bring them back out again, because this question is favorite covers of the year. And for this, I bring out the Larry Reads. Larry, you did it with these. These are Yes. Yes. Thank you for doing this to these books, because they're great. Thank you. That's all. That's enough said. All I needed to say. These are amazing. Special edition covers. They do it for me. And now we get into an unpopular book that I loved, which is going to be The Dixon Rule. This is, Elle Kennedy is one of my favorite authors. If you can't tell. One of my favorite authors. And I just love everything that she writes. They're all hockey romances. All she writes is hockey romance, and I love hockey romance. So I just love these books. I love her writing anything about hockey romance, and I will eat it up. Ooh, this is a good question. It's similar to one that came up earlier, but a book that you thought you'd love, but didn't. So again, Not in Love is coming back for this one. I thought I was going to love it. I love her writing. I just didn't love this one. Enough said. And I feel like this was a very common occurrence with this book for people. House of Flame and Shadow. Yep. A lot of people said there wasn't much that happened. It felt like a filler book, essentially. There wasn't anything amazing, great, big that happened. The ending, yes, plot twist. I was shocked, but I don't know. It was just, there was so much happening, but at the same time, nothing was happening. So, let me down this year. Thought I'd love it. I just didn't. Okay. This question is similar but different to one that we had earlier. The one we had earlier was, what book would you read for the first time again? This one is just, what book would you reread? And so for that, I bring Check and Mate by Ali Hazelwood. A lot of people didn't like this book. I loved it. I know nothing about chess, but I ate this up. I loved it. I mean, I don't know what else to say. The romance in this was adorable. I loved it. I love her writing. Her writing has come up many times. It was a very good book. And then we get into this. This I would reread again. I love this series. I love the country, small town romance aspect of it. I love the characters. I just love. So, this is definitely something that I would reread at some point. Maybe, I don't know if I'll reread it next year because I've got a lot of other books to read and a lot of new books coming out that I need to read. But maybe at some point in the future, a couple years down the line, once it's gone from my mind and if like I want to reread it again. And then books you wish that you had gotten to this year. So there's actually a lot of books that I didn't get to read this year that I wanted to. I think there's a couple of them. The first one is going to be Lightlark. She recently just had her third book in this series come out, and I'm seeing it everywhere, and I'm like, I want that. I want to read that, but I haven't even read the first one yet. This was a series I wanted to get to when the hype first blew up, way back when this one came out, and I just never got around to it. It wasn't at the top of my list, and I read other stuff instead, and now it's still sitting here. Maybe I hope I get to it soon in the next year. Hopefully in like the beginning of the year. Another book I wish I got to this year was the Twisted series. These are all series. Now that I think about it, they're all series I wish I'd started but didn't. So maybe it's a good thing I didn't start new series and that I finished other ones. I'll look at it that way. But Twisted Love, I've been wanting to read this well over for a year. I have the whole series, got it from Target. I just never got around to actually reading it. I've heard a lot of good things about it. I just haven't gotten to it. I'm hearing less about it now because everyone and their mother has read it, but I have not. Hopefully I'll get to it soon. And finally, this is a new series that came out. And there's another one coming out this year. Wild Love. This I really want to get to. This I can very easily see myself getting to very soon. This is at the top of my list of new stuff to read. Especially now that there's another one coming out again. So it'd be 3 books that I gotta read. So maybe I'll read like this one, because it's coming out in March. Maybe like this one in February. Or was it April? Or was it March? I don't remember. But like January, February, March? Or like February, March, April? Whenever it comes out, I'll try to read it in that order. Like 1 per month. I think that's okay. So hopefully I get to it. I really want to get to it. I also love how these line up in the little mountains. I just love it. And then finally, well, actually we have 2 final questions still. But this is getting away from the physical books, and it's more of like my stats on the year. And it's going to be my Goodreads goal reflection and my 2025 reading goal. So my reflection on the year was that I was very excited to get to the amount of books that I did. My goal for the year was 50. I'm currently right now, middle of December, am at 49 books reading my 50th. So I assume I'm going to get to 50 this year, which I'm very excited for and happy about. But there was a time in like August or September where I was like, I don't know if I'm going to make that goal this year. I don't know if I will. I would have to read like 6 books a month to get there for the end of the year. And I actually did it. I read 6 books last month. I'm on my 6th book this month. I think I just found more time. I also did listen to a lot of audiobooks while at work when we were closed, which I think helped a lot. I had 2 last month that were audiobooks. I think I had 3 or... No, it can't be 3 or 4. Have I only read 2 physical books this month? I don't know. But a lot of audiobooks recently that boosted that up. I don't want to say I read them just to boost my reading goal up, but kind of. But they're easier way to do that. Instead of listening to music when I'm at work in the mornings before we open, just listen to audiobooks. I get more reading in. So I was very happy that I am meeting my goal this year. I think this is probably actually the first year that I realistically actually met my goal. I also did 50 for last year, and I only got to 42. So back in September when I was like, I don't think I'm going to get to 50, I said, you know what? I'll change my goal to just beat last year's, which was 42. And I did that like at the end of November. Here we are, about to hit 50. So I'm very, very happy about that. And then my goal for 2025, because I did hit 50 this year, I'm going to amp it up, but just a little bit. Just a little bit. I think I'm going to do 55 for 2025 and see if I can get that. Because that'll mean no slumps. Because I had a slump this year in the summer when I was in the middle of moving and I only read 1 book in August. That hurt my reading goal. So 55 would mean no slumps, really. And consistently reading. So I think it's reasonable. A little push, but reasonable. And then what will you prioritize in 2025 reading year? This year, I'm going to prioritize my 25 and 2025. I have a reading journal that I'm working on right now, and I have my 25 listed in there. I have a list from last year as well. I think I only got like halfway through them. So my goal is to read all or most of those 25 for 2025. And then something that was also a goal for this year, actually, I'm going to keep it a goal for next year, is going to be finishing more series. I think I've finished 8 series this year, around there. So I'm hoping next year to either match that or go higher than that. So we'll see. We'll see where I get. And that is all of my accomplishments that I met this year. All the books, everything about the books. That is my end of the year reading tag for 2024. So I would appreciate if you guys go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, do all that kind of stuff. I would very much appreciate it. As someone new to this is weird for me, staring at a camera, but I would really appreciate it. I just want to make friends That's really all I want. I just want friends, please. I don't have any. So I would appreciate all that. And with that, I will see you guys next time, hopefully. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.